Right. So seeing as Korea is, I guess, developed like to an exponential like extent, where it's sort of developed into one of the largest economies in the world, how has that sort of made you feel about your time in Korea?
Well, I was always very excuse me. I think in retrospect, uh, I always had an admiration for the Korean population. I'm going to tell you a number of reasons why in a moment. I found them to be, they revered the elderly. They were very bright. They were ambitious. They communicated well. Those who learned, they were anxious to be integrated in our society, okay, as a population. Uh, and I learned that because my cousin, who was 5 years younger than me, adopted two Korean children when they were 3 and 4 years old. So today I have 12 extended family Koreans in my extended
Wow.
family.
Hmm.
Um, and fast forward that story, one of them became a patent attorney, a gal in Robin in the legal profession. Then Tom, her brother, uh, was the imaging director of Cleveland Clinic in photography before you go there for an MRI and so forth. So they were very, very ambitious. And that was one thing I always uh, admired about the Korean people in general. Uh, so that was my feeling about them. Having been there, it was obvious I was glad to get back. I rotated through and came back the following October of 1951, and then was discharged because you got to remember my discharge was frozen. On a 24-month enlistment, I served 39 months with the last 13 or 14 in Korea. So when I came back from Korea, rotating, then they rotated you on combat points. And 21 was kind of the goal. And I guess I had 35 being in 3 or 4 campaigns, battle campaigns. But so I never resented going there. I understood what happened. I was very sympathetic and empathetic. And I could relate to that because my grandparents from Germany, okay, and I'm first generation born in this country. And I remember my mother and father being immigrants in this country coming through Ellis Island. So I had some form of identification with the emotional feeling on the part of that identification for me personally as a child, family experience, military experience, and my own experience.